last week, next week. Let me start again by quoting the scripture that says that we can understand God by studying the creation or work of his hand. He said, for the invisible things of him are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are excused. Another translation says that God's eternal power cannot be seen, but from the beginning of the world, God has shown that what these are like by what he has made. That is why those people are without excuse. That is why those people are without excuse. This is a very, very important statement. Very important because it helps us to know that, look, we can know God, we can understand him by just being conscious. We can understand God by just being conscious of the environment we find ourselves. The invisible things of him are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Meaning, God does not want to be mysterious. Even though we want to make him mysterious, he doesn't want to be mysterious. But you know the interesting thing? Some people want God to remain to remain mysterious, because if you can now explain things that hitherto they've not been able to explain, it looks like, because in fact, some people thrive in the fact that he's mysterious. Why? Because it defines them. As in, it's like you already have a mindset about God. Now, someone is trying to explain in a way that make your mindset to look stupid. Make your mindset to look stupid, such that if you still believe those things, it's a sign that something is wrong with the way you're thinking. The invisible things of him are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Now, I would like to also say that the languages used in scriptures are based on the limitation, of the people writing. Sometimes you see in scripture beast, but we all know that there's no animal called beast. There's no animal called beast. They can't explain what they are seeing, so they have to describe it in the best way they can. So meaning some of the words used were used because there's no other way to describe what they saw. If there are better way to describe it, they will describe it in a better way. The invisible things of him are clearly seen by the things that are made. I'm very sure that words like energy, frequency, and vibration will be found in scriptures if it was to be written today. For example, love, joy, and peace. For example, love, joy, and peace make it to be at a high frequency of vibration. But anger, hatred, and fear make you to do evil and be at a low frequency of vibration. This is why, as long as you are in Christ, which means you are full of love, you are full of joy, you are full of peace, evil power cannot harm you. Evil power cannot harm you because you are above them. He that is above is above all. He that is above all. Evil power cannot harm you. God has set up different systems on the earth to make him not to interfere. It's important you have this understanding that God does not interfere in the activity he has set. He has a system on there, and the system works very well. He doesn't interfere. He's not looking to answer your prayer the time you pray. No. Why? He said, ask and it shall be given. Because it's already existing. Seek and ye shall find. Knock, it shall be open. I was studying the scripture recently, and I realized that ask, you ask verbally. But when I look at the word seek, the Greek word means to search with your mind, to meditate, to search through meditation. And I realized that in seeking is a mental prayer. And then knocking is a physical activity. So you have three things you need to do when you are praying. You speak verbally, you speak mentally, you speak through your muzzle. So you declare with your mouth, you declare with your mind, you declare with your muzzle, such that all of them must be in alignment. The three must be in alignment. What I'm saying with my mouth must align with what I am meditating in my mind, and it must align what I'm doing, the effort I'm putting in, the effort I'm putting in. And that's why I say goodness and mercy shall follow you. 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 Goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. That's what the scripture says. Now, if goodness and mercy is going to follow you all the days of your life, then you have to position for it. Then you have to position for it. Why? You position for it by your word, mouth, by your mind through meditation, mental declaration, and by the physical work you are doing. Goodness and mercy shall follow you. Goodness and mercy shall follow you. If you are positioning for it through your mouth, what you speak with your mouth, through your mind, what you meditate on. If you meditate on fear, if you meditate on worry, if you meditate on anxiety, you are not aligning with what you are saying with your mouth. Goodness and mercy shall follow you to the degree that you ensure that what you are saying with your mouth and what you are declaring in your heart, in your mind, align. He said, let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord. He said, now unto him that is able to do exceeding and abundantly above all you ask or think. So your thoughts is prayer. In your mind, through meditation, is prayer. What are you mentally declaring? Because all that you need already exists. It's not going to come now. It already exists. And you had better believe it so you can receive it, because it says, whatsoever you desire when you pray, believe you have received and you shall have it. Believe you have received and you shall have it. And that's why I say you can only have what you already have. 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 He's not looking to provide those things for you when you are praying, because they already exist. They already exist. Your job is to position for it. It's a system he has put in place, just the way he has system in your body. For example, on the earth, you have the water cycle through which rain comes. You have the carbon cycle. You have the phosphorus cycle. You have the nitrogen cycle. And in your body, you have the also different systems. System like lymphatic system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, muscular system, excretory system, reproductive system, nervous system, pulmonary system, different system in the body. He doesn't interfere. He put that system in place to be able to let it work by itself. Why? That's the way. Now, so by observing what he created, you can understand his reasoning and be able to understand the way he works and the way he likes to work. It's not a waste of resources. When you put system in place, it saves you time energy and money. SYSTEM. Save yourself time, energy, and money. That's exactly what God has done, and that's exactly the way we should think. So with understanding this concept, help you to know that it is not when you are praying that you answer the prayer. Your job is to ensure it align. You align what you say with what you are thinking and meditate upon with what you are doing with your hand. Then goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, because this makes you positioned to receive what he has created for you. Now. Today we are looking at 3 things to remember. What are the 3 things you need to remember? What are the 3 things you need to remember when you are trying to manifest your desired reality? Let me start by saying that maintaining your frequency is the highest, is of highest importance when you are trying to manifest your desired reality. Maintaining your frequency is of highest importance. Note that frequency is addictive. Because of this, it then becomes difficult for people to break free from them. When I say frequency, always remember, it's a mindset that you have developed over time, and that determines the way you think, and your frequency determines your level of awareness, and your level of awareness determines what you are able to see, what you are able to perceive. There are so many things hidden from you because of your frequency. There are so many things hidden from you in this life that you cannot see and perceive because of it. That's why you're talking to some people. When you're talking to some people, it's difficult for them to understand what you're saying because they have what is called cognitive dissonance. You know, when you say something that is against what someone has already believed, they're saying something that is against what he has believed, you find it difficult to accept it. It's called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. And it's so important for you to interrogate everything you come across in life, including what I'm telling you here. Interrogate it, research it. Particularly when I'm posting some data and statistics, research it yourself. Why? You should know it for yourself. Why? Because it's important you know it for yourself. That nobody is trying to control you or determine the way you live your life, because you're an adult and you should do things because you want to do it, not because someone is telling you. And it's good you have an understanding of it for you to do it. Please note that your old frequency is your old belief, your old attitude, expectation, focus, and emotionally charged thought. This old frequency is what determines the current state of physical reality that you are experiencing in your life. In order for you to go where you have not been, you have to become who you have not been. So for you to manifest your desired reality, then you need to change from the old mindset, old attitude, old expectation, old focus, old way of thinking to match the new reality. For example, if you are poor, you want to be rich, you need to begin to think like a rich person. You can't be thinking like a poor person and expect to attract riches, because there is a way poor make you to think. In fact, it determines the things you say. For example, that's too expensive, I can't afford it. That is the way you speak, because of the old frequency, because of the old mindset, because of the old way of thinking. But what you don't know is that what you are saying is based on the way you are thinking, and as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you are going to perpetuate that poverty because of the way you are thinking, which is seen in the way what you are saying, which is seen in what you are saying, which is seen in what you are saying. So for you to manifest your desired reality, then you need to change from the old to the new. That means you need a belief, an expectation, a new focus, a new perception, a new conviction, a new emotionally charged thought, a new way of thinking. Also know that one of the reasons you are worried about is about the fact that your desired reality is not being manifested. Your desire not being manifested, or because you fall off the frequency, you are at a high frequency and something happens, someone did something, and you fall off it. It is because you have forgotten one of these three things. When you feel bad, when you do something you don't want to do, maybe you react in the way you don't want to react, and you feel bad about it, it's a sign that you have forgotten one of the three things we are talking about today. Because if you understand what three things we are talking about today, even when something happens, you will remember that, look, it is not about what happened to me. It is about who I am in that situation. So the first thing that you need to remember to always ensure you manifest is infinite card shuffle of reality. Infinite card shuffle of reality. Let me explain. Infinite card shuffle of reality. Please note that because God exists within you, you being the dwelling place of the Most High, you have access to all things that also exist in the world. Therefore, this gives you access to all frequency and all possibility that exists in the parallel universe. Remember, the Bible says you are in the world and you are seated in heavenly places with Christ Jesus, far above principality and power. It's called parallel universe. You are here physically, you are seated in heaven. You are here physically, and you are doing two different things. It's called parallel universe. This is why sometimes you can become hit by something random, by a bullshit, by something you don't expect. You had an unfortunate incident. You lost your job. You lost someone dear to you. You lost a huge opportunity. You failed an exam. Something happened that you least expected. Something happened that you least expected. Something happened out of the world. It's like, look at this. Life dish you the wrong card. Life dish you the wrong card. Life dish you the wrong card. That means that you can be hit even though you are praying, you are fasting, you are living right, you are doing your affirmation, your visualization, your prayer, your fasting, and worship, and boom, something went wrong. That's why some people will say, oh God, why me? I'm living right, I'm praying, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Why is this happening to me? It's just like when I was in secondary school and we did WAEC, and we prayed and fasted for 3 days for that WAEC. Guess what? They seized the result of the whole school. Of the whole school. Hey, Lord. Sorry for another day. They seized the result of the whole school. And one of my friends said, Dele, Shalom Bad Rasha. Does God answer prayer with all this way we are praying? How come God? This is why the whole purpose of your practice in manifestation is to beat a frequency that enables you to match the reality you desire in the universe. This is so important. It's so important. You are praying, you are fasting, you are worshiping, you are doing everything right as far as you can, and your mind cannot fathom why something went wrong. Why is this happening to me? Why am I not able to get a job? Why am I not able to achieve my desired reality? It is the concept of infinite card shuffle. It's like life throw a card at you that you did not prepare for. It's like, it's random, infinite card shuffle. The card is, when you're playing card game, you don't know the card you will pick. You don't know the card you pick. Now, when this happens, it's not about the card that life dish at you. It's about who you are at that moment. Remember, all reality lead to one place, the place of your desired reality. Even when that thing happens, it can still work together for your good, depending on who you are. Please note that due to the fact that it all is within you, all reality can be expressed by you and expressed in you. This is like dishing out card in a card game. And in this scenario, you don't know which card will be dished at you. As a matter of fact, the card sometimes that is dished at you is the card you don't want. Even though you are not in control of the card that is dished at you, it is not about the card. It is about who you are when that situation comes to you. So it is not about what is going to happen. It is about who you will be or who you are going to be when it happens. Because shit is going to come your way. Something is going to happen you never expect. And when those things happen, it's not about what has happened. It's about who you are in that moment. Someone said, you only know people under pressure because pressure squeezes you and brings out what is in you. It brings out what is in you. It brings out what is in you. It brings out what is in you. That's why when a guy slapped the wife, he did not slap the wife because what the wife said. No. What the wife said put him under pressure. And the pressure brought out what was inside. If you are a slapper, you will slap. If you are not a slapper, no matter what the lady do, you will never slap. Why? Because you are not a slapper. What it takes to slap is not in you. What it takes to slap is not in you. That's why someone said you are not a thief because you stole. You stole because you're a thief. Such that if you never had the opportunity to steal, it does not make you less a thief if you are a thief. That means, given the right circumstances, given the right situation, you will steal if you are a thief. Given the right circumstance and situation, you will not steal if you are not a thief. So you are not a thief because you stole because you are a thief. Pressure, situation and circumstance of life, bring out what is in you. Bring out what is in you. So it is not about what is going to happen. It's about who you will be. So when life is dishing out those cards at you, you have two options. You know the two options you have? You can either hold the card or reject the card. When life dish that card at you, you either hold the card or reject the card. Guess what? Many people hold on to the card. That's the problem. That's the problem. Many people hold on to the card. Many people hold on to the card. Many people hold on to the card. Can you imagine that? They're holding on to the card. They're holding on to the card. They're holding on to the card. They are holding on to the card. But do you know that many don't reject this card? They rather hold on to it. The question then is, how do people hold on to the card? They hold on to the card to their emotional reaction to the situation they find themselves. So the hold frequency make you to react to the situation because things are not going the way you want it. This make you to hold on to the card. So how do you hold on to the card that life dish at you that you don't want? Through reaction. It's like the reaction create a glue that glue you to the card. The reaction create a glue that glue you to the card. This is because they become upset, they become angry, they become sad, they become disappointed, they become irritated, they become frustrated, they become dejected. And in doing this, they are holding on to the card. The question I'm asking you tonight is, are you holding on to the card that life is dishing at you? Are you holding on to the card? Or you are returning the card? Or you are rejecting the card? Please note that by holding on to this card, the card becomes yours. It becomes yours. It becomes your universe. It becomes what your life is about. You begin to live in that universe. Now, what could have been an opportunity to reject the card will now become a permanent condition in your life. So you now go in the cycle, continue in the cycle of rejection. Cycle of rejection. Cycle of rejection. Cycle of rejection. So you apply for a job. The interview looked very well. Then you get a mail saying, we are sorry, we could not engage you for this role. That is life dishing card at you right there. The question is, are you excited or you feel sad? Are you telling yourself, these people don't know what they are missing? They have missed an opportunity of someone that will help them earn $1 million in that organization. That's you interpreting that situation in the way that serves you. Or you are saying, Not again. Why me? When will I get this thing? Why me? Why me? Why is the devil after my life like this? Why are the village people after? Why are the village people? You now go and be praying. Every enemy of my father's house, every enemy of my mother's house, every you have accepted the card. 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 And it shows even in your prayers. So you are praying for job with your mouth, but in your mind, you are playing the scenario. What if they say no? What if they rejected again? What if they... And I was talking to someone and I said, if you are believing God for a job, go and create an email, a new email. Maybe you call the email Human Resources. So that when the name you will see when the mail comes, and create the mail is sent to you at random over the next 3 months. So that when you receive the mail, you can see in the line, congratulations, you are hired. So that you can get into that mold of seeing the mail and be happy. You need to get to the point where no matter the card that life dish at you, it doesn't affect who you are. Remember, the wise is the same in pain and in pleasure. The wise is the same in pain and in pleasure. The wise is the same in pain and in pleasure. The wise is the same in pain and in pleasure. Now, what could have been an opportunity to reject the card has become a permanent condition. If the card that was dished out to you is loss of job, and you hold on to it, then joblessness remain in your life. If the card that was dished out to you is loss of a relationship, and you hold on to it, someone very fantastic relationship you're thinking is going to lead to marriage, suddenly the guy says he's no more interested. Suddenly the lady serve you breakfast. And you say, women are heartless. Men are scum. Men are wicked. Women are this. Men are that. You know what you have done? You are holding on to that card of bad relationship. Even though reality is not giving you what you want, by holding on to this wrong card, you are going to manifest what you don't want. This is why this life is not really about what is going to happen to you. Rather, it's about who you are going to be when it happens to you. You need to learn to stand in the unwanted reality in your life, in a wanted state of consciousness. You need to learn to stand in the unwanted reality of your life, in the wanted state of consciousness. You need to learn to stand in the unwanted reality of your life, in the wanted state of consciousness. You need to learn to stand in the unwanted reality of your life, in the wanted state of consciousness. That means you must learn to stand in the unwanted reality, in the wanted state of consciousness. That means I'm in a reality I don't want, but I am in a conscious state of mind that puts me in a place to get what I want. That means I do not allow the negative situation and circumstances of life to change me internally. That means I'm allowing internal to control the external and not allowing the external to control the internal, because the goal is to ensure in pleasure and in pain, you remain the same. This will help you to manifest your desired reality. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. This is so important. So important. So important. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. The wise is the same in pleasure and in pain. You know why I'm emphasizing this? So you understand that no matter the card that life dish at you, you remain the same. You are not bothered. You are not disturbed. You need to get to that point. And the reason you will not is because of the way you have interpreted that situation in your life. You need to learn to stand in the unwanted state, in the unwanted reality in your life, in the wanted state of consciousness. That is, you need to be able to remain in the state of your desired reality internally, even when the reality you don't want show up in your life. To do this, you need a lot of discipline internally. You need to be disciplined enough to know how you want to feel internally and remain and maintain this internal peace. You need to be able to discipline yourself to reject the card that life is dishing at you, because this will make you to control your universe. You're able to control the reality in your life. So how do you go about rejecting the card that life throws at you? How do you go about rejecting the card that life throws at you? When life throws the wrong card at you, the card you don't want, how do you go about rejecting the card that life throws at you? You reject the card that life throws at you by maintaining that internal state, by living by design, not by default. Some people are living by default based on the old way of thinking, old mind. They are living by default, not by design. You should be living by design, not by default. That means you are living deliberately, not based on situation and circumstances in your life, but you are living deliberately the way you want to live. That means external reality is not controlling how you feel internally. To live your life by default is to allow the external to control the internal. To live by design is to allow the internal to control the external. Is to allow the internal to control the external. Is to allow the internal to control the external. To live by design is to allow the internal state of peace and joy to control what you do on the outside, in spite of that situation that you don't want. So you hold on to the wrong card that is dished at you by your emotional reaction to the situation and circumstances that happen to you. You need to be able to stand in that unwanted reality, in a wanted consciousness. That is, you stand in the wanted consciousness, despite unwanted reality that is in your life. That is, you stand. Always remember that no matter the card that reality dishes at you, your response or reaction is a choice. And guess what? That choice is within your control. No matter the card that life dishes at you, your response or reaction is a choice. And guess what? The choice is within your control. The choice is within your control. So, in the externality of being broke, you need to be rich internally. In the externality of joblessness, you need to receive your appointment letter and letter of appointment internally. In the externality of not missing your target as a salesperson, you need to be in the internal state of someone that have met his target. When you react to that situation that you don't want, then you allow that external situation to become stronger than you, because it's controlling the way you feel internally. This is because whatsoever is stronger than you, from the point of frequency, you submit to it. And that is why it's altering your internal state. You submit to it. And that is why it's altering your internal state. You submit to it, and that is why it's altering your internal state. You have to alter you internally, despite what you experience externally. And this is a sign, guess what, that you're in charge of your life. Many people are not in charge. 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 They are not in charge. They are not in charge. Many people are not in charge of their life. The circumstances and situation that life throws at them is what determines how they feel and what they do. Many people are not in charge of their life. I think I'll be able to finish this today. Number 2, the sneaky truck of perfection. The sneaky truck of perfection. Please note that psychologically, the old frequency understand how your mind works and know how your mind works. And so, many things about you that you're not aware of. Your old mindset knows you very well. It's also aware of what you intend to manifest. So, he will use the idea of perfection of frequency for the reality to make you discouraged. You know, sometimes you did something you don't like, you behave in a way you feel you should not, and then you now get discouraged that, I'm not be able to maintain the kind of frequency I want to maintain today, and you feel bad about it. He knows that you are not likely to maintain that high frequency 24 hours, 24/7. He knows that you might fall off occasionally. But what is important at this point is to recognize when this happens and come back as soon as possible. But the old mind, the old frequency wants you to be discouraged. He wants you to be sad. He wants you to be unhappy. He wants you to be discouraged. He wants you to be sad. He wants you to be unhappy. He wants you to be annoyed. He wants you to be frustrated. To fall short here is a descent in your consciousness, a descent in your consciousness, and a mental descent of your consciousness and emotion. This is seen in you feeling guilty, feeling beating up yourself internally, or being annoyed and frustrated. When you beat yourself up internally, you create an internal state of hell that is multiplied by the God system of the universe and is manifested in your reality. This is because as within, so without. As within, so without. As within, so without. As within, so without. Because as a man think in his heart, so is he. As a man think in his heart, so is he. As a man think in his heart, so is he. This is because as within, so without. As above, so below. As a man think in his heart, so is he. This is because the card that God sees, that the universe dish at you, in this situation of low mental consciousness, is exactly a reflection of your internal state. This is generally the mechanism of the universe, except with exception that seldom happen with the infinite card shuffle. So the old frequency wants you to be guilty and feel bad because of those days that you miss your prayer, that you miss your affirmation, that you miss your meditation, that you miss your daily devotion. But please note that this is fine. You don't have to be perfect in this regard. And you don't need to feel guilty because you're not perfect in this regard. It's also important for you to accept that this is fine. And it is because you have not yet accepted that this is fine, that's why you feel guilty. You need to give yourself grace. Give yourself a slack, because there will be period like this in your life that you'll not be able to meet up with your plan, daily plan of manifestation practice. There will be instances where things are not going to go as planned. Someone will do something that will make you unhappy and uncomfortable, that will make you feel bad. But it has to be a momentary thing, not a permanent state in your life. It is important to know that there will be times in your life that despite knowing all this information, there will still be highs and lows, and it is okay. And it's important you know it's okay. You know why? It is because the way you feel when you miss out on what you want to do is not going to help you to manifest your desired reality. He said, be still and know that I am God. In spite of the situation and circumstances you don't like, be still and know that I am God. In spite of the circumstances you don't like, be still and know that I'm God. Please note that in this context, to be at a high frequency is to be at a level of awareness, and to be at a low frequency is to be at a low level of awareness. When you're at a high level of awareness, it helps you to navigate reality in such a way that you are not affected by it. When you're at a low level of frequency and low level of awareness, that means that your lens is blurred. Your lens is blurred. Your lens is blurred. So you can't see clearly. Look, when you're at a high frequency, even when things happen you don't like, you don't interpret it wrongly. You interpret it in the way that serves you. You interpret it in the way that serves you. You interpret it in the way that serves you. You interpret it in the way that serves you. You interpret it in the way that serves you. This makes you to walk into a wall because you can't see clearly, and constantly feel pain because you can't see the wall to avoid it. However, when you fall, it's a sign that you have risen in the first place, because falling means you were high before. So don't flog yourself, but rather take steps to rise again. Note that you cannot escape the highs and lows of life externally, because there are many things you don't have control over in this life. However, you can escape the highs and lows internally, because you have absolute control internally. So you can't escape high and low externally. Things will happen outside you don't like, but how it makes you feel internally, you have control over it. When you experience low, which is usually slight dip in your frequency, you can let it go down further or reverse it back upward and bounce back like a bouncing brick by the way you see it, the way you interpret it. Because quite frankly, the way you feel in this life is based on the way you label the reality that have confronted you. I just give you an instance now. Someone received a letter, an email that showed that they didn't give him the job, and he said, thank God they didn't hire me. Because if they have hired me, maybe I won't have enjoyed the place. God is preparing a better place for me, where I will be well valued and appreciated, when I will be able to rise up to become a director. Thank you, Jesus, for this rejection. Can you see an interpretation? Can you see an interpretation? It is high level of awareness that will make you to interpret reality that way. It is a high level of consciousness that will make you to interpret. That's what the Bible says. In everything, give thanks. Oh my God. In everything, give thanks. And we know that all things work together for good. And we know that all things work together for good. In everything, give thanks. In everything, give thanks. In everything, give thanks. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and call according to his purpose. They are still living a purposeful life. They are still showing their love for God and humanity. They are not feeling embittered and sad in that situation, because they know that all things work together for good. Because they know that all things work together for good. So your definition and conceptualization of that low is what determines whether it's going to go further down or bounce up. You can transcend this low state only if your mental and emotional state is not dependent on seeing reality change. Remember, manifestation is defined as internally shifting to a degree where you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. So that when you speak, you know God has answered. When you mentally declare, you know God has answered. So you don't speak in your mouth, but mentally declare fear. Mentally declare worry. Remember, ask, seek, and knock must align. Ask, seek, and knock must align. He said, he that is doubting, he should know that he will not receive anything from God. And I just told you now, if you go and check the Greek word to seek, it means to search with your mind. It means to meditate. It means to, so you are asking in your mind, you are seeking in your mind. You are asking with your mouth, you are seeking with your mind, and you are knocking with your hand. So that means There is a muscular aspect of prayer. So your action is prayer. Applying for the job is prayer. Applying for the job is prayer. Doing the work is prayer. Your action is prayer. The way you are thinking is seeking. And if he's seeking, he will find. If he's seeking fear, he will find fear. If he's seeking worry, he will find worry. If he's seeking anxiety, he will find anxiety. If he's seeking love, he will find love. If he's seeking joy, he will find joy. If he's seeking peace, he will find peace. The question is, what are you seeking? Thirdly, focusing on doing instead of being. Focusing on doing instead of being. Focusing on doing instead of being. You are focusing on just applying for the job. You are not being employed internally. You are focusing on getting money. You are not having the money externally. Remember, whatsoever a man desire when he pray, believe you have received, you will have it. You can only have what you already have. How do you have it? By becoming mental creation, seeking, receiving. If you receive it internally by seeking it mentally, you will see it physically. Please note that doing does not work. It is being that does the job of manifesting your desired reality. The goal of prayer is to become. The goal of prayer should be to become. Doing this in this sense is prayer, affirmation, visualization, meditation, scripting. And the goal of this is to help you become. The goal of prayer changes you to be able to attract your desired reality. If the prayer is not changing the way you think, you will not be able to attract your desired reality. If the prayer is not changing, if you are praying for God, believing God for white, but you are thinking black, you are mentally declaring black, you will not achieve that desired reality. You cannot be verbally speaking white and mentally declaring black. Remember, let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. If the two are not aligning, coupled with the work I'm doing, so that means I should become first. In fact, let me tell you what I discovered. When you become, you will have some intuition, inner guidance. You have some mental nudges of what to do, the person to speak to, the places to go, the decision to take, and you'll be doing the right work. You will not be able to do the right kind of work to manifest your desired reality if you are not being. If you are not being. This doing is only done for a few periods of the day. It is being that you can do for most part of the day. This is the reason why religious prayers made by most people don't work, because they are being contradict they are doing. They are being contradict they are doing. So it is being overdoing. This means the mental state that the doing is meant to achieve align with your desired reality. This is maintained for most part of the day. Any prayer, affirmation, visualization, meditation, scripting that does not make you to become that desired reality internally is a waste of time. Remember, always remember, whatsoever you desire when you pray, believe you have received, that is being. Believe you have received, that is being. Believe you have received, that is being. Believe you have received, that is being, and you shall have it. Believe you have received, that is being, and you shall have it. Believe you have received, that is being, and you shall have it. The act of doing prayers, affirmation, visualization, scripting does not work. That is why many prayers are not answered. If you made prayer affirmation, confession, visualization, meditation for a desired reality internally in the morning, but you are the wrong being for the rest of the day, that is what prevents you from manifesting your desired reality. So it's like you are going a step forward and 5 steps backward. So instead of just having to-do list, you should begin to have to-being list. To-being list rather than just to-do list. Before we close this evening, remember 3 things. Number 1, the card that life dish at you. The card that life throw at you might not be what you want, might be exactly what you are praying for. Remember, it is not about the card, it's about who you are when the card comes. When that situation comes, you need to be in the wanted state of consciousness, even though externally you are in a wanted state of reality. Number 1. Number 2, remember, you won't have perfect frequency for most part of the day. I mean, for some part of the day, rather. But you should have it for most part of the day. That means you should be in the right state of mind for most part of the day. So that means something happens, you feel unhappy about it briefly, you don't remain in that state. You don't remain in that state. Someone says something, you express your view about it, but you don't hate people for whatever it is you have done. You now realize that all that Christ teaches is for you to be in the right state of mind every time. That's why he teaches love, because love, we are the highest level of frequency. So that means everything you are doing it out of love. Love for God, love for fellow man. Number 3, don't focus on to-do list, focus on to-be list. To-be list. That's why you're a human being. Who are you becoming? If you want the things to come to you, you need to be for it to come to you, because goodness and mercy is looking for you all the days of your life, but you are not being in the place where we come and meet you. This is so critical, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget these 3 things we have talked about today, and then continue to manifest your desired reality. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this evening. How are you and what have you learned tonight? Let me hear from you. FOM, good evening. How are you? Hello? Can you hear me? FOM, good evening. FOM. Okay, FOM is busy. Grant, good evening. Hello, Grant.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. First thing I picked today is that because God lives inside me, things that are possible to God are accessible to me.
Yeah.
So I can, like, it's an open possibility.
Okay.
Like, a statement of all things are possible to the one who believes, to him that believes. Now becomes that how much can somebody get, or how much results can you achieve in your life? How much success in finance and influence and power and wealth can you attain? Is all things are possible already. The question is not a question of whether it's possible, it's a question of whether you believe. And the way to believe is not to just confess that you believe, but to switch in consciousness and thinking pattern. Like we don't have to say we believe something to believe it. We just have to think like it. That's proof of belief. Like belief is more of is being it. Like so that's number 1. Then when you mentioned how that in ask, seek, and knock, search has to do with mental, with searching with your mind.
Yes.
Like traveling, going through So even reading, when I'm reading a book and I'm going through it and thinking, going through the pages of that book. So I call reading, I describe reading as time travel. Like reading is the way you travel to the future and come back. Because when when I read, it opens my mind to new possibilities as though I time travel to realities yet to show up in physicality or to show up physically, not it feels like. So that's saying that the Greek word, I will confirm it though, that is searching with your mind, which is meditation. It's just so interesting and amazing. And then knocking is now action. Like asking is speaking, seeking is meditating, and knocking is action. Like this whole meditation for that precedes action is consistent throughout scriptures. How that if you meditate and become in your mind, then you will not have to struggle to take action. It will be a natural result.
Yes.
That's just yeah, it's just really sweet and interesting. Then you quoted David where he said, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable or aligned in your sight." And I'm like, wow. Like a lot of I don't know, a large part of I say a large part of Christianity is just seeking, popular Christianity in Nigeria, Pentecostal, is just seeking validation,
What
like
do you
seeking
mean?
validation, like as if we like just looking for like Christianity, or I don't want to generalize it as Christianity, but many preachings create the problem and then offer the solution that it's creating the problem. So it's just taking advantage of people's gap in need. Like if people don't have need, many parts of church will be very, very useless and
Yes.
unnecessary.
Yeah. Very correct. If the government become efficient today and people can have what they want without praying, I can assure you many people will not go to church
Yeah.
because they
And
are not
that's
in
not
church
good
because
for
they
us.
love God. You say what?
Yeah. I say it's not good for us. Like
It's
it's
not
not
good
good
though.
for the
It's not good
church.
though. It's not good at all. It's not good at all.
Thank God.
Many people don't go to church
It's
because
just
they love God. They go to church because of their needs.
no. Like, as in that part where Jesus said, "These people, you've come after me not because you want to hear the word, but because of the fish and bread."
Yes, now.
Like, damn it. I don't even like to I don't even like to know, like, don't the pastors feel it that these people don't love you, they don't even love the God you give to them. They are just there for themselves. That alone, knowing that alone should be very painful to the pastor. It should be
Yeah,
painful.
yeah.
That is not fair.
That's why it take a lot to be a
But
pastor. Take a lot to be a pastor. You have to be able to, someone said a pastor, as a CEO, your job is to identify inefficiency and remove it like a virus. Someone that is not performing, to eliminate it and make this business efficient. He said, but pastor, your job is to work with both the efficient and inefficient and ensure they are able to work together. You can't eliminate it. You have
uh,
to accommodate everybody.
come on.
So it takes a lot to be a pastor, actually, because you can be preaching to people and you're saying the same thing, saying, and you might not see any change because the people are just looking for something else.
I think yeah, yes. And then the size of congregations, like the size of single congregations also makes it difficult to effectively transform or bring about transformation in the listeners because it's so big,
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
large, you can't even
because
reach.
if it's a small one, everybody can talk, you can hear them.
Yes.
That's why people try to do small fellowship, actually, only that it's not very efficient. So it's not very effective, rather.
Okay, then you also mentioned that, when you mentioned, so on being, sorry. So on being and doing.
Hmm.
So I believe that doing brings the results. Like doing is the
Doing is the
immediate thing
midwife.
before result.
Is the midwife. is the midwife of the manifestation of your desired reality. That's why doing is important also. Only that is good you are doing the right work.
And doing from being. Okay, we always
Yes.
do from being actually.
Yes, that's the way
Like,
to do it. That's the way to do it. If you don't do from being, you will struggle.
more people then okay. Now, if somebody starts by doing,
Yeah.
you become doing. You can become from doing, right?
Become, what am I become
From
from doing?
doing. Like, if I want to switch my consciousness in terms of, let's say, sales, for example, and
You
I'm
won't,
not very,
if you are able to do it, it's because
yes.
anything you're able to do, when you're supposed to do something and you find it difficult and there's no energy and you keep postponing, it's a sign that you have not become inside. If you're able to do it, it's because you have become.
So, but when you take the first step, you are still not fully set. Are you saying that even taking the first step alone has shifted your being?
What if that's your natural state?
Okay, let me go again. Like sales, for example, and this is like doing selling, like salesmanship. And I'm like,
Good.
how am I going to do that?
So if
Me,
you are
I'm
not
okay.
making, if you are not successful in sale, it's because you are doing the wrong way. Doing it can make you get used to it, but does not mean you get the result you are looking for.
Okay.
You know, when you are talking to someone, they are not hearing you, they are hearing your frequency.
Yeah, which you can't hide actually. It's always loud.
I'm telling you, I'm serious. There's a way you talk to someone, and I just, he has not met you, you're talking on phone. I like your person, I just like the way you sound. Before you know it, is interested in buying. Someone, you just offend them by the way you speak, by just
Yeah.
your voice. Do you understand? So I tell people that if you are selling
Yeah.
and people are saying no, 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 stop the sales. First of all, become, receive the sales, see the people saying yes. You need to get into that state internally. When you're in that state, even when you now call and someone say no, don't bother, just keep calling. You're going to get the person that will say yes very soon. So you don't allow the fact
Okay.
that someone is saying no to discourage you from making the call again. Because if you are sold internally, why are you worried that someone is saying no? Why are you worried? Because you
Okay.
are sold internally. You are already sold as far as you're concerned. That they are saying no externally is not bother, it does not bother you. Because as far as you're concerned, you are sold. So you keep continuing your call until you receive externally what you have already received internally. Because you have received it anyway, so you are not worried and bothered and discouraged when someone says no externally. And that gives you energy to continue in spite of getting no. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes. I mean, you passed the back door to do it. I was still going to answer, but as you're not answering now, you have scattered everything. So then you also said, and you said, so I now documented it this way that being is what scales and amplifies doing,
Yes.
such that like yes, when you want to scale it, consciousness, because you can be in the same action of business, like business. And then when your consciousness shifts through exposure, awareness, belief, emotions, you'll do the same thing and results will be more in
Get
folds,
the
10
point.
times.
You get the point. You get the point. This is the difference between someone that have been in a sector for a while because he has increased his frequency and understanding and awareness of that industry than someone just coming in.
Hmm, okay. Okay, so then in the parts when you also said we can't do all day. We can't do the knocking all day, but we can do the seeking all day.
Yes.
We might also not be able to do the asking all day, but
Yes.
we can always
But
be
you can
yes, we
be in
can be
that
in state.
mental state all day. Yeah.
Yes. And whether we try or not, we are
You
all
are
in a
always in a
state.
mental state. Only that sometimes
Yes.
you're in a mental state that you are not conscious of and it's affecting you.
Yeah, and it's still sending signals out and bringing results
Yes.
without your interference.
Yes.
So annoying.
No, no, no. That's why I said, when you are conscious of the order of life and the way God designed this life to work, when you are conscious of it, There are some things you don't do. That's why you cannot, it doesn't make sense hating people, fighting, angry. And there are some things you will naturally not do. Why will you not do it? Because you know the implication. But when some people do it, it's because they are not conscious of the implication. So when you are at a high frequency, your awareness level is so high that you are so conscious that there's something you will never do. You are so conscious. You are mindful of even how you say things. I say when you want to say things, because you know it's important what you say.
Yeah, especially if you believe it internally.
Yeah.
You charge it with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and based on this, now I now became aware and like, oh, if this is the case, then I'm always praying. Actually, I just figured that I'm praying all day because I'm really always mentally
You are
prepared.
always praying.
Always praying.
Only that for many, they are not doing it consciously. But either you are doing it consciously, subconsciously, you are praying anyway. You had better know you are praying so you can do it consciously.
And change your prayer points.
Exactly, and ensure it aligned.
And
ensure it aligned.
no.
I'm telling you, look, as simple as this conversation is, this is the biggest challenge for a lot of believers. I'm telling you. Biggest challenge of a lot of Christians. Biggest challenge, I'm telling you. Biggest. That someone is praying and the answer is not coming and is getting frustrated and is unhappy. And someone is saying, just keep praying, have faith. How do you have faith? You've not gotten to the understanding exactly what's going on. Is that what?
I said, yes. How do you have faith? Like that question is almost never answered or even
Exactly.
asked.
But this is the faith we are discussing here. This is the faith. Because
exactly.
If the person does not understand, maybe the person also has prayers in his life that is not answered. He's just going along. You know the way this thing is now. He's just going along, okay, God will do it, it will happen, God will do it. Even when nothing is happening, and people are frustrated, they are unhappy, they are sad. Young people see the way their parent life has become, they are saying, no, I don't want to go this route. I will never be a Christian. I don't want to know about Jesus. I don't know about God. Bible is a scam. And all this is happening because of their life. They see their parents pray for days, for weeks, for years, and nothing is changing. And they tell themselves, this guy's not working, man. I'm not going this direction. And we're not concerned about it. Because you should be concerned. But this is in scriptures, only that we interpret it the way we want to interpret it. Go ahead.
I don't. In many ways, sometimes when I see things that are portrayed as core Christian beliefs, I'm like, these are principles. Let's not lock God within we've locked God within the Christian faith as if God does not exist in creation itself.
Exactly.
Then say if it's not God, I'm like, God is everywhere. Like, well, I will stop here. Thank you very much,
All
sir.
right, thank you. FOM, are you ready now? FOM, good evening. Okay, FOM is not there. Favor, good evening. Hello, Favor.
Sir, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. I joined very...
Okay, join late. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well,
you go through it. All right. Yes. Amaka, good evening. Amaka, are you there? Hello? Okay. I'm not sure if Amaka is with us. Ola, good evening. Hello, Ola. Can anyone hear me? Nobody's answering.
Good evening, sir.
Okay,
good evening, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
I joined very late.
Okay, you joined late also. Okay, Sam, good evening.
Yes.
Hello, Sam, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. What I want to ask is that how can you maintain this high frequency? You mentioned it time without number.
Yes.
And in maintaining this high frequency, that's when you will achieve what you
Desire.
want to
Yeah.
achieve. So how do you get into this and remain in this?
So, number one is to be conscious of the fact that my state of mind is what determines the frequency I am on. That's why, okay, let me show you. I will show you this. I show it every now and then, but I will show it again. So if you look at this chart, it's called the map of consciousness, and you can see love, joy, and peace at a high level of vibration. Now, so what I need to do is, number one, to ensure, sincerely, if I'm a Christian and I'm conscious of the fact that the kingdom of God is not in meat and drink, but righteousness, peace, and joy, then I want to ensure I maintain that kingdom of God within. Meaning, at any point in time, no matter what happened to me, I want to ensure I am in a place where I'm full of love, joy, and peace. Even when someone, that's why I said, when someone does something, what makes us to be unhappy or sad or angry or react is not what the person did. It is the way we interpreted what the person has done. It is the way we interpreted what the person has done. That means I need to now be conscious of the way I interpret the reality. Let me give you an example. I did business with someone, and the person, under a guise and excuse, failed to pay what he's supposed to pay. And that means the money I raise from investor, I have to be the one to pay back. And it's aware that, look, this is the situation I find myself. But guess what? I'm paying back. I'm not sad, angry. In fact, if he calls me for help, I will still grant him that help. The only thing I won't do with him again is to do things that has to do with money, because he has shown me that I can't trust him. He can change in the middle of the road, and he has done that a couple of times, only that I trust people a lot. I give people a long rope, and the long rope I gave him, he wants to use to strangulate me. But it's difficult for me to hate him, for me not to help when I can help. Why? Because I'm conscious of the fact that in spite of what he has done that I don't like, I won't hate him. No. I won't revenge. No. I want to be in that state of love, joy, and peace. And look at the way I interpreted it. Because of what he has done that is making me to now have to pay my investor directly, literally giving a large sum of money away, I interpret it as helping me to learn to give. Now, that's my interpretation. Now, what have I done? I've just only interpreted this thing in the way that served me. The real issue in life is the way we interpret our situation, period. If you are conscious in the way you interpret it, because you know that all things work together for good, if you are conscious in the way you interpret it, if you are conscious, there are some things you will naturally not do. So to maintain that high frequency of love, joy, and peace all the time, or for most time, I must be aware of the implication of anger, of grief, of guilt, of shame on me, and fear on me. Immediately I'm conscious of it, of the way it affects me, I want to snap out of it every time. People will still do things that will make you unhappy, but you don't want to stay there. In fact, it's so serious for me that if I want to react, my body rejects it, as in my body is just so used to the peaceful state that my body let me know, no, this is not the place to be. As in, it's like, someone, let's say you raise up your hand for a while and your hand started paining you. You know that your hand is that the way your hand is not the way it should be, because that's why it's paining you. Immediately you are in equilibrium, pain will go. So that kind of pain is what I feel, because my mind is so used to that level, and that's where we should be. You are so used to that level that when something happens, I want to snap you out, to quickly get back because your body tells you it's not the place to be. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, you're making sense. You're making sense. Mhm. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting it better now. Yes.
Yes. So if you do it long enough, after a while, it becomes your default state. Because no matter what people do, no matter it does not mean if you need to express your displeasure, you express your displeasure, but you don't allow it to go beyond that. It doesn't affect the way you deal with them. It doesn't. If you need to prevent, if it's a dangerous person, you need to stand away. Of course, you stand away. You avoid them. If you need to avoid them so that they don't hurt you, but you don't hate them for that. You don't, even when they've done something that hurts you. Because the goal is to make you to go back to your old state. But that state is not good. So you want to be in the state you want to be. You want to be in the state you want to be. And you can be in the state you want to be. You just need to interpret the reality correctly, interpret that situation correctly. And this can be at home with kids. In fact, it's worse with kids. Because sometimes you can justify that you are trying to ensure they are doing right. That's why you are, because you can correct without being angry. You can correct without being angry. You can correct without being angry. In fact, when you're angry, you're not supposed to correct. You can correct without being angry. Meaning, you can get the child to do what he needs to do without being angry. If you want to cane, you can cane without being angry. You're not caning. That's why the child knows why you're caning. He knows this is what I've done, and this is why I'm receiving sort of cane. Even though I really don't encourage caning, but I know some people might not be able to do without it. But the idea is either with your spouse or with your kids or with your colleague, you want to ensure you maintain that internal state of peace no matter what has happened. And that depends on the way you interpret what they have said. So, for example, for the child, interpret what they have done as the way that means there's something wrong with the way I'm parenting. So I need to learn more about parenting to be able to govern their behavior. That way you are transferring what they are doing yourself as it. So you want to learn more, grow more, so you'll be able to control and mentor them and guide them in a way that they will not, most of the time, of course, they will still be a child will still be child. So for example, I realize that for children, saying that avoid this, don't touch this, is a lie. If you don't want them to touch it, remove it from there. Period. Don't leave it there and say they should not touch it. Because they will go there. Because that's what makes him a child. They will forget. And he will go. So if you don't, just remove it. Take it away completely. Why? If you don't see, doesn't see it, he will do something else. But you can't leave it there and say, don't touch it. If you touch it, I'll beat you. He will touch it. He will. Why? He might not even remember when he will go and touch it. He has forgotten. He's playing. Governing behavior. So important.
All right. But what if he has to do with a bad attitude? Maybe, yeah, in school, if maybe fight, talk, and
okay, so if he has there's no such thing as a stubborn child. There are only ignorant parents.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a stubborn child. Let me give you an example. My son always come to our toilet to use toilet. And I said, don't come anytime he start doing it, I'll go back. Well, one day I just asked myself, why don't you ask this child, why is he coming here? Because yes, it's toilet. And you might run to the traffic. I said, you are not listening. I said, do not go back. So I sat him down and I asked questions. And that's why we need to create an environment that enables them to talk. Because if you are a parent to a child until 12, you are a friend to a child that is a teenager, you are a mentor to a child that is above 18, above 19, because it's no more a child, it's an adult. You are a mentor to him. You can't dictate to him what he would do. Now, if we don't parent very well and become the friends such that they are free to come and talk. So I can be working, my son can come and jump on me and talk. Does not mean if you do something wrong and I look at him, he won't stop it. Now, I've created an environment so that he can easily talk. So I asked him, come, why is it that you don't use the toilet? And I said, It's not convenient. When I sit down, my leg does not touch the ground. And he explained, I just like, what you have asked before. If I have asked this before, because now, why? Because I'm questioning my parenting. If I'm telling him it's not doing, I should be asking now. I should know why. Now, when I'm saying that to say, if the child is doing, there's something, there's a problem. And if there is conversation long enough, you might be able to discover it. If he's given that freedom to speak, he can spill his mind and freely. It's like a girl that a boy peck her in school, and she'll be able to say, mommy, can you imagine one today? One girl came and kissed me. One guy came. I said, if you say, come. I had my 4th kiss at this time. How does it feel? Now you have given him time to come and talk it. Then you cannot educate him. But if you shout, he won't come and tell you another one again now. Why? Because you have created fear. So if you create an environment that makes it easier for them to have difficult conversation, then before you know it, you will hear so many things you never even expect. And immediately you hear that, then it becomes easier to advise if you need to change the school or be able to know exactly what is causing it. And then you, as the adult, you might now be able to advise on the best way to be able to handle it, because you now know why that thing is happening, because there's always a reason. Someone said in every child there's an Osama bin Laden, a terrorist, and there's a Barack Obama who became the president of America. So there's a greatness and there's a terrorism in every child. He said the one you speak to is the one that responds to you. The one you speak
all right.
to is the one that responds.
Thank you. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Week ahead, rather. And condolence to the parent of our former president. I hope this will make some of our leaders to understand that life is transient and do the best to be a blessing to the world. It's unfortunate, but that's life. Thank you very much. See you next week, and bye-bye.
Thanks, sir.
All right.